Sorry, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are joining me who don't know who I am, you can call me Swamp Rose or Kiki or whatever you like. I have a great show planned for us tonight. So I've planned a whole presentation for you regarding the DNA and IgG regarding the IDAHO4 case against Bryan Kohberger. So I think it's going to be an interesting show. I think I'm going to show you some things that you maybe haven't seen before. Just kind of a deep dive on who some of the experts are and some of kind of the powerhouse women that are playing a role in this defense team. So, and we have, it looks like everybody's here. So thank you for showing up in the live chat. And I'm going to just start by pulling up a document we've seen before, but we're just going to kind of base our whole show around that. And, you know, while I am, I don't see any reason why we can't just have an open panel tonight. So anybody wanted to jump up and give their 2 cents, I'm just going to share a link. If you're jumping up and I don't recognize you, just make sure you show your face and wave before I bring you onto the stage. But hold on, let me drop an invite in the chat. Oh, I know. Isn't that funny? I'm going to just pull this down so you can see. Twizzle, was it Twizzle who said that? Yeah. Twizzle says, are you censoring your hands? I'm blocking my background out. Let me show you guys. Wait, let me look before I show you guys. That's why it's not anything that I don't have a great studio. I used to have a beautiful studio. If you remember my channel a couple years ago, I had a gorgeous house and a beautiful yoga studio, but I now have an office. So anyway, good talk, guys. So let me pull that document back up. And did I actually try? Okay, yeah. So the link is in the chat if anyone wants to join me. Yeah. Well, if 12 was here, he'd tell you it's because of my water bong was in the background, but it was not a water bong. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's get back to business and get serious here, because we do have a lot of information to cover for this to be, you know, I want to really give you guys some information maybe you haven't heard before, or if you have heard it before, maybe we'll go a little bit more in depth. Oh gosh, where is my thing? Okay, so I'm just going to read this whole document because it's rather short, so it's not going to take that long. So excuse me. Sorry about that. Let's start over again. All right, so let me just start from, let me read this document from bottom to top. So based on the May 30th, 2024 hearing, the sealed order for disclosure of IgG information and protection order is amended as follows. Defense counsel Ann Taylor, Jay Logson, and Eliza Mathis. Defendant Bryan Kohberger, IgG defense experts Dr. Leah Larkin, Becca Barlow, and Stephen Mercer, and defense investigator may view the IgG materials provided by the state. Any further dissemination of the materials or the information contained within the materials must first be approved by the court after a showing of defense as to why such individuals need the information for preparation of the defense. Additionally, no individual on the family tree who is not previously known to the defense via the defense's own investigation may be contacted by the defense or any other agent of the defense without prior authorization from the court after showing as to why such contact is necessary and the material in preparation of the material for the defense. And then it goes on to say the defense's mitigation expert who has created her own family tree and who does not have access to the IgG information may continue her mitigation investigation, including contacting the defendant's immediate family members and other related individuals. All right, so I've heard a lot of reactions to this document, but what I thought was interesting was something that I read on Reddit. And then I'm going to give you a stat that I got from another YouTuber. So I don't know how accurate it is, but I'll give you the details. So let me pull up this document. So I'm going to take it to Reddit. Hold on. Oh, no fighting. Oh, good. AR's here too. All right. So just make sure you can see this on your screen. I'm just going to read this one Reddit post and then a couple reactions. And let me just stop my camera for a second. I just got to find that statistic for you too. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm here right there. All right, well, it doesn't matter because I memorized this statistic anyway, but let me go ahead and read this Reddit post to you, and then I'll tell you the rest. So this says, so the DNA profile is partial after all, and that's after reading this document. So this was posted 7 months ago, but I'm bringing it into the story that we're reading. So read the comment that said that the knife sheath DNA was a partial profile, and it was stated that way back in Bicca Barlow's declaration, I had absolutely missed this, but it is as I have speculated. On page 15, it says that the profile is ambiguous and partial. The declaration also mentions that the DNA found at the crime scene. On page 13. Let me just make sure that's showing. Okay, and I'm just going to read this part out loud to you too. The fact, and this is by Bicca Barlow, the fact of this match made by the CODIS system is considered Brady material because it provides possible avenues of investigation of other aspects of the case. Given the subjective nature of the mixture interpretation, it is reasonable to believe that other experts might disagree with whom actually is a candidate. And in this case, in which the profile is issued is ambiguous and partial, other aspects are an important area of investigation. It goes on to read, from the discovery in this case, it appears that at least 3 and possibly 4 profiles were uploaded to CODIS database prior to Mr. Kohberger being charged. Mr. Kohberger has requested the discovery of these uploads and any resulting hits or candidate matches to these unknown male profiles, even if the lab has a deposition on them as a non-candidate match. So I started looking into this because I was recommended a video that was done by Nika's Neuro Nuggets. And I don't know where she got this statistic, but I thought it was really interesting. She said that, and she says in her video, she's a scientist, although she doesn't, specify. I'm just prefacing what I'm about to say with that. And she said that essentially when it comes to the parts of DNA that you normally get to build these profiles, it's usually built out of about 150 parts. But according to what they collected at the crime scene, there were only 19 parts to this profile, and they had to build the other to make that 150, which I thought was really interesting. And like I said, I don't know exactly what she's talking about, but I thought I'd tell you that statistic. I'm just looking at the comments to see if anyone's commented on it yet. Heather said, the court filings from around this time is why I think that all the DNA work was done by Othram, I'm sorry. I know, I love Nika too. We've played a couple of her videos, but there's sometimes that she, there it is. They have to, here it is. Built from 19 to 150, yep. And then Heather is clarifying that the amount of DNA is what they call consumptive. When I did my last live stream, or not my last live stream, like 2 live streams ago, I commented on a woman named CC Moore, and actually a couple people corrected me in my comment section because I misquoted her education level. And although she doesn't really have anything to do with what I'm talking about right now, I thought I'd just really quickly clarify something, just kind of as a retraction from my last live stream. So I was talking about Gabriela Vargas in the last live stream, and we were just talking about what people do who build these IgG profiles and study them. And we had mentioned, I'll tell you the exact quote that I said, because I don't want to do it again. So I had basically said that they, it's a self-taught thing. So you're self-taught, and so is Gabriela Vargas. So I was kind of going, when I was talking about expertise, I was talking about that. And I just want to correct one thing really quickly. Somebody left this comment and I verified it before I came on. Oops, that's not it. Where is it? I guess it didn't upload. Let me upload it again. So CC Moore, although she wasn't involved in this case, I brought her up as an example in the last live stream, and I said that she did not have a degree in whatever science this was, and she actually does have an education. So CC Moore has been involved in genealogy for years. She has helped Ellie solve cases. She is the foremost in genetic genealogy at Rampino College in New Jersey, and has some courses in genetic genealogy there. So I just wanted to correct that statement because a couple people said something. And CC Moore is also famous for her work capturing the Golden State Killer. So anyway, so let's move on to our experts that were mentioned in this document, because there were 3. So if you look right up here, we've got 3 experts named: Dr. Leah Larkin, let me highlight that, Vicka Barlow, and Stephen Mercer. So we've heard a lot about these people, but I actually went and pulled their profiles because I was being told how impressive these women were. So I wanted to show you, I keep doing that. I wanted to start with Vicka Barlow, and then we're gonna look at Dr. Leah Larkin. Oh my goodness, I can't find it. I guess we're getting a slow start here, you guys. I have too many screens open. There it is. There it is. Okay, so this is Vicka Barlow's biography. And it's kind of long, but I think we should read the whole thing. So Vicka Barlow received her Bachelor's of Science degree from the University of California, Berkeley in genetics. She pursued her scientific and academic interests and obtained a Master's of Science degree from Cornell University in the fields of genetic and development biology, with minors in plant and molecular biology and cellular biology. Mrs. Barlow's studies focused on the molecular mechanisms for controlling the expression of genes during the developments of plants and yeast. Ms. Barlow moved on to the law and obtained her JD from the University of San Francisco School of Law, graduating magna cum laude. After serving as a research attorney for the Criminal Division of the San Francisco Superior Court, Ms. Barlow opened her private criminal law practice. From the beginning, she focused on DNA cases. During her time in private practice, Ms. Barlow acted as an attorney consultant for over 100 DNA cases at all stages in the proceeding, from trial to post-conviction in federal and state courts. In 1998, Ms. Barlow, along with a lead counsel, Michael Burt, conducted the first successful challenge in the United States to the admissibility of SDR evidence in the case of People versus Boken. Mrs. Barlow was a DNA counsel in a capital case in 2000 that resulted in a life verdict. Ms. Barlow was also co-counsel in a capital post-conviction case in Ari Dennis Lowry, in which she was responsible for handling the tool mark evidence. This evidence was the only physical evidence linking Lolly to the homicide. Later, the evidence that the gun found at Lolly's possession was the murder weapon was disproved by the discovery of the actual gun found buried in a field over 20 years after the crime. In 2004, Ms. Barlow became a DNA attorney for the San Francisco Public Defender's Office, where she acted as a house expert, consulting with attorneys on cases involving DNA evidence and acting as co-counsel primarily on homicide and serious felony cases. In 2013, Ms. Barlow returned to private practice. She now specializes in cases involving forensic DNA evidence throughout the United States. Her experience covers all types of cases, including STR-based DNA testing, mitochondrial DNA testing, and YSDR-based testing. I just think it's really interesting because from what I understood, we keep talking about these genetic genealogy and the people who treat it, who are self-taught or are completing their courses. It's kind of like an art form, but this is really serious scientists they have involved. So let's bring up the other lady involved in the defense. Her name is Dr. Lisa Larkin. I should probably check and see if you guys have anything to say. Ooh. That's an interesting comment. So just going back and referencing what we're saying, they need to construct it out of 150 parts, but they have 19. And I think that's a fair argument that Twizzle says. You would accept it if it was 51% and they had to build it from there. LA says, the fact that they only had 19 and had to build out the profile means it's subjective. DNA isn't a one-to-one match. And Twizzle 6 is 12%. – 12 to 19 seem like magic numbers in this case. Tarot says they made the DNA fit BK, possibly. Thanks, Christy. Twizzle Stick agrees. Becca is boss. That's a good comment, Saliva. It's pretty amazing when people devote their lives to a field of science that's novel, that requires great vision and courage, and yeah. Especially when you compare the declarations to the Idaho State Lab and what she says. Tarot says, I think there were 2 search warrants for the lab. If it's a partial sample, where did they get the rest of it? I think that that's an interesting comment because everybody else on the jury, including myself or any civilian, would want to know the same question. How do they build that? Do they take like do they take an artificial sample, or do they take a known sample? Is there a control sample that they use for all of them? Yeah. And then how do you differentiate between, the remaining parts? Which ones were original and which ones weren't? Heather says, plus often skin cells and oil are repeatedly identical and lacking in the same parts in each cell. It's like you guys knew I was talking about this tonight. That's funny. Hey, thanks for being here, Justice for KMXE. I don't know about you guys, but my dog watches TV. I mean, he doesn't watch like regular TV. He watches things that interest him. But they have, if you don't know about this, you have to check it out. They live stream like pet sitting channels on YouTube. And I like the close-ups of the birds. Like my dogs watch that. My dogs sometimes watch, like they have cows and sheep and horses and stuff. It's a nice thing to do for your dogs if you want to waste the electricity when you go out. It's literally only proving that 12% matches BK. How do we go from 12 to 19? I saw you say that earlier, but I don't know that. I don't know what you're referencing. Hi, Doc. It's partial because it is most likely degraded. Sorry. Listening, I think DNA is very interesting to me. Oh, good. I think it's really interesting too. I like talking about the DNA. I think the DNA is really interesting when it comes to investigative work. Metadata fascinates me. And I think the most fascinating thing is when we do end up getting like our suspect, the profiling, I think is so interesting too. Oh, more numbers, coincidences. 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 12, 2. Oh, wait a second. Oh, gosh. This is a good point. Doc. It is possible to build the rest from the father's DNA. That's really interesting. I wonder, so were the IgG and the STR profiles both created at the same time? Or did they create the STR? I don't know. Or did they create the STR afterwards, after they had the other sample? I don't know how it works. This is why the IgG is so important. Then it is replicated so you have a larger sample. So you just replicate the 19 you do have. So is seeing the OG work of the IgG from before BK's arrest. Yeah. Tabby Cat says, I mean, don't a partial sample mean they only have so many parts? Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be 150. They have 19. And I wish I had the quote because I had the actual scientific word, but I guess I was just trying too hard to get ready and I have lost it. I might have it. Oh, okay. So no, I don't have it. Sorry. Okay. Doc says, the important part is if they extracted it correctly. The process is long and tedious. You should check out the YouTube pet sitting channels. They're so good. I'll send you a link, Heather. Ann Taylor made a comment that she wanted to look at family gens going 3 generations back in BK's family. Hey, tell it to Elle. You have a great Twitter page, by the way. You guys should check out Tell It to Elle's page on Twitter. She puts up really good Twitter posts. I wish we could put up posts the same way on YouTube that you can on Twitter. Thanks, Leslie. Wait. Oh, hold on. No. We're so sorry for what you're going through, and our prayers are with you and your family right now. And yeah, we're just sending you love and light during this difficult time. And you always support us, so we're all sending support to you from the live chat. You and your family. That's the word right there. I've always heard 19 picograms. That's the word I was looking for. What is pic Latin for? Picogram. Must be. Hey, Suri, what is pic Latin for?
Pig Latin is a language game or argot in which words in English are altered, usually by adding a fabricated sub.
Hold on. Hey, Suri, what is a picogram?
A pictogram is a graphical symbol that conveys meaning through its visual resemblance to a physical object. Would you like to hear more?
No. Hey, Suri, what is a picograms?
Here's some information.
Okay. To help compare different orders of I don't know why Suri is sabotaging me right now. All right, Twiz. A picogram is 1/trillionth of a gram. A gram is about 1/30th of an ounce. A milliliter measures fluid volume equal to 1,000th of a liter. If that makes it clear. I remember a rumor BK might have had a cousin out there somewhere. That's okay. I want Elle to be part of my mod squad on Discord. That's what she's talking about. Just want to say shout out to my mods. Thank you for all you do. Twizzlestick's supposed to be a mod, but I haven't added Twiz yet. Sorry, Twiz. No disrespect. Yeah, but that doesn't make the original profile correct. That's manufactured evidence. I mean, it depends on how it's presented. I'm not like opposed to learning how it's unique. I mean, just to fit into the system, maybe it has to be built up, but maybe that one area of 19 picograms is undeniable. I don't know. STR comes first. Thank you, LA. For those, I should read them out loud when I laugh, because obviously some people are listening and not watching. Heather says, Twizzlestick, I imagine a picogram looks something like a Pokemon. It's funnier when you read it. Will they ever prove anything to us, right? I like this comment from Heather. See the original, the OG IgG work from the pre-arrest is so important to Anne. It's much, much more than civil liberties issue. Interesting, thanks. And then LA says, I'm still not sure how you can run a partial SDR through CODIS. I don't know. So does this mean when we read how they did the IgG profile? I mean, since that comes afterwards by your last comment, I wonder, did they do this week workup with the extra picograms for the STR? I know they only mentioned it in the IgG process. It's just like my understanding of it is so primitive, I wouldn't know. The STR is to find the Tatum repeat, meaning a section specific to the person's DNA that repeats, making it unique to them. You're welcome. We're definitely here for you if you need us, whenever we're live, or in the comment section, or in Discord. Hold on. Yes, Doc, but there still has to be. He worked for WASU. They had his DNA even as a teaching assistant. Miranda, thanks for showing up, darling. I don't know, right? Why am I? What does pico mean in Latin? It must mean trillion. I don't know. My ma talks pig Latin. I can't understand it. But I do not speak it also. Is Chipotle it's weird, huh? We didn't speak pig Latin when we were young. We used to speak gibberish. I don't know if I could remember how to do it. I'll try to say your sentence in gibberish. With the guy, with the god, to the goss. I can't remember how to do it, but it was something like that. The gun to the guard, to the gan. Does anyone know how to speak gibberish? We used to speak it like really fast, real one. The guy to the gan, the gun to the guard, to the gan, to the get to that, to the god to the goo, to the get, to the giz, to the gan. I don't know. Somebody knows out there. I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. My sisters know what I'm talking about. Although my mom learned how to speak it really quick too. God, if we all could be blessed to live almost 100 years, right? Makes it really surreal when you're talking about a bunch of kids between the ages of 19 and 21. Wait, prove that it is the phone not choosing to hear you properly when you're using it talk to text. Suri sometimes speaks up in my conversations. It's really weird. I definitely know they're listening.
Okay.
I didn't even say hey. See what I'm saying? You guys just witnessed that. If 19 isn't a full sample of DNA, how much do we need? Good question we should get the answer to. We still have an entire profile for Dr. Leah Larkin. We still have an article. There's a lot of information. I'm just trying to get through these comments. I've always been curious on why his father has never come out and said anything to the press. I've always felt some type of way about his father. You know, I don't know, but A.R. Hayes said an incredible comment about this. I think, if I remember correctly, AR, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you said there's no win-win for the families. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. When you say something, when you don't say something, And gosh, there's no way to navigate it. It's hard. I mean, just as I try really hard not to judge the victims' families, I also try hard not to figure out, why the defendant's family is doing what they do too. I'd love to know too. I have the same question, Richie Rich. It's cute. All right. Can we ask a question that's a rumor and put it to bed? Is tell it to Al Van Life? I'm sorry, I gotta know. I'll let the chat clear that up. I don't know if I'm supposed to put the answer on the screen. I don't want to ruin anyone's YouTube alias. I know how you guys love your anonymity around here and pretending you're different people. Oh, Christy's clearing it up. She is not Van Life, and Christy knows. Vivian says, they can't, so it obviously was not a partial. They clearly had enough DNA to run an STR and an SNP profile. Yeah, they did. We just wonder how that's done. How they fill that in. Do they use like artificial created DNA parts? Do they use a sample of, do they have like a generic sample that they use? Do they find a close match to his, I don't know. How do they build that, the rest of that profile to make it from 19 picograms to 150? This is a good question. So LA says, in response to Vivian, the declaration by Bicca Barlow attached to the June 20th hearing said that the DNA profile was partial and ambiguous. That's a good comment. They don't take DNA to work at WASU. And when it comes to touch DNA, it's like, as far as I understand, this is a difficult thing to, like even if we were to suggest, which I think that's what Vivian's responding to, is that, he had a job there, maybe it could have been collected and planted. The touch DNA requires friction. It's just a complicated thing if you wanted to frame someone with touch DNA, because number one, how would you keep it at a singular source if it requires friction to both be taken and given? So I don't know. So I of course, tend to believe that I don't believe that the DNA was planted, but I'm always open to listening to and debunking others' theories. So I think that's what that was in response to. I really need to watch what I say. I put my foot in my mouth so many times in like the last 72 hours. I know. I was just talking to Gia yesterday, and she wants to come back on. She's been studying all the legal paperwork. And the one thing about Gia is, because she only comes on once in a while, I have to like make sure I'm giving her some things to prepare for, like a couple days ahead of time. And so anyway, I'll tell her you guys were asking about her, and I'll tell her I really want her to come back on too. I don't always just want her to come on for the legal stuff. I love talking to Gia. She just has a great personality, and so I'll tell her you guys are giving her some love, and maybe it'll encourage her to come on soon. 100 years is too old. I don't know. I don't want to live 100 years. Every moment matters. Ain't that the truth? Never turned Surrey. I don't know. Oh my gosh, you guys. I love Surrey so much. Like, what do you do if you're in your car? How could you not turn Surrey? It does. Surrey has spoke up during conversations I've had. Crotus requires 20. There were only 19. That's interesting. I would want to know, Vivian, do you remember where you heard that? Or if you could tell me what to Google, that's interesting because we know there are only 19 picograms. I am not asking that to Surrey. Surrey is a serious piece of equipment. I think that they need a Southern Surrey so she can understand anything I say. That's so cute. All right. I have done his family tree, and to me, based on being told and then looking, Grandma had his dad with someone else. But I don't get the DNA, etc. But I believe he has a cousin at WASU. It would explain, well, I mean, I guess we know why he went halfway across the country, or went across the country, the DNA, the PhD program. But that would explain another reason why he might have looked into that area. His father's occupation is being a janitor at a high school in their hometowns, which means he really knows cleaning supplies. I wanted to say something about cleaning supplies too. I found really interesting. I think I heard this. No, I know I heard it from Steve at True Crime Web, but it was a long time ago, so I might get this wrong. But basically, like when if you were trying to clean touch DNA off of something, just using the product actually contaminates the product with touch DNA of some sort. So I'm assuming that means that if you like have a spray bottle and you spray it, like when it sucks air in from the room, it gets all of your touch DNA and then you recontaminate the product that you're cleaning. So if you're going to clean touch DNA, you have to do it a certain way. So hi. All right, I'm just gonna go down here. And I really do want to get to Dr. Hi, Miss Anonymous. I really want to get to Dr. Larkin's profile too. I have some really good stuff for this show. We're just moving forward. LA, that was a reference to case study, not Kohberger. Gibberish and Pig Latin are similar in the A, in the OK, not van life, just much as a view. If it was such a bodily crime, you don't think it would have cleaned out the little bit of DNA on the button? I mean, what I know of it, and yes, I think that's probably why they could only find it where they found it, but my understanding, and I honestly would have to go back to cite you where I found the source, but I do have it written somewhere that it was actually on like the lip of this the strap. So like what do you call it? The female piece of the strap, like there's like even though how do I should draw a picture. I'm gonna draw you guys a picture. So if this is the button, like it was like inside the button, like, oh, you can't, damn it. Anyway. So it was the only place that was kind of sealed off from the area. Oh, okay. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Yeah, those crazy people. Oh, hey, Robert. Robert, did you see I dropped a link if you wanted to come up? I've got another article to read. I'll drop it again. If you all don't know, this is Robert from True Crime Cult. Go check out his fabulous channel. Will do. Correct. This is from, if you guys are following the Karen Reed trial, I'm following the Karen Reed trial, but I'm going to be honest, you guys, I don't want to present it. It's so hard to explain. And when you start talking about one aspect, like if your audience hasn't followed the whole case, you have to there's just so much to explain. But in the area of the world I'm from, there's a really thick accent, and oh, Robert's here. And so they say, instead of correct, they say correct. So that's the word of the day, correct. Hey guys, welcome.
Hello.
How's your night going?
It's going. Just got done watching some wrestling. um, but no, I think I did some late night sleuthing last night, and I think I might have found out who the informant is in the IDAHO4 case.
All right. Let's see.
But I'm not gonna reveal anything till my video drops later tonight at 10:30 p.m. Central.
Well, you guys, wait, Robert, can you mute it for a second? We still got the feedback. So you guys heard it here first. Robert from TCC, True Crime Cult, thinks he has figured out the informant, dropping the video at 10 p.m. tonight. So make sure you go. I don't know if any of my mods might be able to drop a link to Robert's channel in the chat for everyone. But yeah, go check it out, Robert. You want to give us any teasers, any hints as to who it could be?
It's somebody related to the drug scene there in Idaho. And the correlation to the arrests and to the time of the alleged stalking all match up.
All right, I'm intrigued. Hold on. Wait, when are you dropping it? Oh, you're on a different time zone than me. You're dropping it in like...
It'll be 10:30 p.m. Central my time, so it'll be 11:30 your time.
Okay, 11:30 New York time, you guys. Well, I wanted to read this next profile. Do you know anything about Dr. Leah Larkin? Have you ever heard her profile before? She worked for the defense.
Well, I've heard they call her the DNA geek.
That she is. All right, I'm going to pull up her profile and I'm going to read it. Okay, just make sure you guys can see that. And so this is interesting. So this is invented by Dr. Leah Larkin. This is called the Leogram. A Leogram is a report conceived by a genetic genealogist, Leah Larkin, which displays descendants of a focused let me start that sentence over. Which displays descendants of a focused ancestor alongside chromosome browser graphics indicating which segments the descendants inherited from the ancestors. The report tracks segments through generations. The report was implemented as a feature in the Borland Genetics Web's Tools database as part of the site's 2021 Rolling Spring Features release. The Borland Genetics site's chromosomal browser images are rendered by using the site's profile and profile chromosome browser as generated by comparing factory and synthetic DNA resources. So boom, you guys, right there, they can use synthetic, which is something interesting because my when I was thinking about that, I was thinking like, do they have a controlled sample? So if they are building these profiles, if they have a controlled sample, it's the same every time. And so that would make it a little bit easier with, when you're filling in the blanks to so many picograms. Robert, did you know that stat that they typically run those profiles with 150 picograms of DNA and they only had 19?
No, this is the first time hearing about that. Now, I know Othram, they're the ones that did the IgG. But here's the thing. I've been hearing about Othram, or whatever it's called. They need more than 10, 10 DNA points, and I don't think there was enough in that molecule of DNA that they found on the knife sheath, unless they fabricated it and then sent it to Othram.
I mean, I don't know if we're talking about the same measurement, because you're saying 10, and I would be interested to know what you're referencing. You'll have to show me. You'll have to show me your reference material, because they said they had 19, but we might be referencing two different things. So, I mean, we know they had to fabricate in some way. I don't know how fabricate is a difficult word to use, because it always sounds like the word lying or something like that, but that's not what we mean. They
No, they
literally
genetically engineered a strand of DNA from that single source, because there was only a molecule of DNA found on the button snap, so they would have had to have, like you said, fabricated. Could mean a lie, yeah, but they could engineer a strand to get it sent off, like make that molecule a little bit more to get it sent off for testing.
Well, it sparks a whole new rabbit hole for, I think, myself at least, to crawl into. I guess that's it. But this is so relevant, because I mean, if we're talking about all the latest documents that dropped, this is the one document that's actually has something to read on it, and it talks about the experts. I have one article while we're doing this I want to bring up. Let me leave that off. I actually have several articles, but I want to bring this one up. So this one is from the Seattle Times, and it's called, I have that dress from Lynn's Kana. This is called Defense for Idaho Murder Suspect Bryan Kohberger is Granted Expanded Access to DNA. By the way, while I'm saying, ladies, don't buy that dress. It literally looks like pajamas when I put it on. So it looks cute in the picture, but pictures lie. All right. It says, Boise, Idaho. The man awaiting trial on charges of killing 4 University of Idaho students secured access for investigators working on his behalf to seal DNA records. Wait, is this the right one? Hold on a second. Yes, this is. Okay, I'm just making sure, because I had read several of them. This is the one that came out yesterday afternoon. Let me start that sentence over. The man awaiting trial on charges of killing 4 University of Idaho students secured access for investigators working on his behalf to seal DNA records central to how police first landed on him as a suspect. That is the weirdest paragraph ever in a major newspaper. At the request of attorneys for defendant Bryan Kohberger, the judge overseeing the widely watched capital murder case expanded review privileges to the protected information as he continues to mount his legal defense. The court's rulings came after a closed-door hearing on the issue held last month. State prosecutors initially fought release of documents to the defense concerning its use of investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG, which they eventually lost in court. The advanced policing techniques involve submitting DNA found at the crime scene to public genealogy websites to build a family tree. Wait, where am I? To build a family tree and narrow the list of possible suspects in violent crimes. Judge John Judge, Idaho's 2nd Judicial District Court in Latah County, ruled last year that the defense had met the low threshold needed to show that at least some of the IgG records are material and proprietary to the client's case. But the Latah County Prosecutor's Office, which is leading the prosecution of Kohberger, did not appear to formally object to allowing the defense investigators to inspect the DNA records. Over the defense's insistence, the judge did grant the prosecution's request that hearing be closed to the public. Kohberger, 29, is accused of stabbing deaths of 4 U of I students in an off-campus Moscow rental home in mid-November 2022. The victims were seniors Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, both 21, junior Xander Kernodle, and freshman Ethan Chapin, both 20. Kohberger, a Washington State University graduate student in nearby Pullman, Washington, at the time of the quadruple homicide, was arrested in eastern Pennsylvania about 7 weeks later on late December 2022. He was back home on the East Coast visiting his family during winter break from school and brought back to the West Coast to answer to the charges. Kohberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. Prosecutors intend to seek the death penalty if he is convicted at the eventual trial, which still does not have a scheduled date. Unsealing of the IGG records left unaddressed. Kohberger's attorneys also asked for most of the IGG records, which states prosecutors had to acquire from the FBI. Afterwards, investigators insisted in the high-profile homicide case to be unsealed and made public. They agreed that the identities of the relatives of Kohberger included in the family tree process should remain withheld from the public. The judge did not address the defendant's request to unseal the additional IGG records in this ruling that expanded Kohberger's public defense team's access to the documents. In a separate hearing open to the public last month, the 2 sides of the case argued over the release of other evidence that the defense has requested through the legal process known as discovery. It was revealed at the hearing that the federal grand jury was used to issue dozens of subpoenas for information in the case against Bryan Kohberger. The parents of the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, have consistently vented frustrations about the length of time the case has taken, more than 17 months and counting since Kohberger's arrest to bring to trial. The twice delayed hearing is scheduled for August 29th. To hear arguments over whether to move the expected trial elsewhere to Idaho or from where the crime took place. The courts need to take control of this case and the attorneys involved. The Gonzalez family said that the statements obtained by the Idaho statesman after the 2 hearings last month, as long as the courts continue to entertain anything and everything to every hearing, the delay will never end. The victims' families want justice, but just as importantly, we want the case to move forward. Another pretrial hearing to this case is set additional dates and deadlines is newly rescheduled for June 27th. And I just really feel like that was such a good article because it kind of just sums up where we're at this point. And I'm going to be looking through chat. Add anything?
Yeah, that is a very good point when it comes to this case. Like we don't know exactly what's going on with this case, especially with the whole gag order. But I would like to say about the Gonzalez family. The late night sleuthing last night, I've uncovered some things about Nathan Gonzalez too.
Kaylee's little brother.
Yeah, Steve's brother.
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I understand. I just don't want to talk about it on this channel. I've taken the warnings I've received.
I can send you the paperwork through email later.
But we will be watching. And on that same note, you guys, Robert, we got the echo. On that same note, you guys, Robert's dropping a video at 10:30. And Robert, clarify, are you gonna be talking about Steve's brother in that video?
No, I'll be talking about who the possible informant is. Because what I got my hands on with the help of somebody, oh yeah, all the dates line up.
All right. Well, when are you going to announce? When are you going to talk about this on your channel?
from the potential, you know how they said August of last year or August of 2022, there was Kaylee thought she was being stalked, and the victims were being stalked. And it was supposed to be August of 2022. Well, the what I got my hands on correlates the date of August, May, and 2 days before somebody got arrested. And we all know who got arrested.
So when are you going to talk about it on your channel?
Tonight.
All right. What time are you going to talk about it?
I'm dropping that video at 10:30, and it's going to be in that video.
Okay. Perfect. Can't wait to hear more. How much time do we? So we got an hour, you guys. And Robert does good research, so you'll have to check out what he has to say. And I have a really I think I've gone into the IGG. I know where you guys want me to go with this. You had a lot of great questions. I did have a couple more. I did have a profile for the third expert witness to the defense, but I think maybe we're going to just transition to the next subject, because I know Robert wants to hear this. He doesn't know what I'm going to present, but I know what Robert likes, so I know he's going to like this this next segment. So let me pull this up, my friends. As you guys might know, oh no, did I have it ready? Okay, sorry. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. So as some of you might know, where the heck is it? Hold on, there it is. Drip Drop dropped a new video today. And I really want to play this portion of the video because I remember hearing about it. Let me take Drip Drop off the screen. I remember hearing about this a long time ago when the Grub truck footage was first getting analyzed and this interview came out. I totally forgot about it. And I think there was just a lot of other headlines going on at the time that I didn't dive deep into it. But of course, Drip Drop brought it up on the latest installment of Crime Circus. And I love Drip Drop. Robert loves Drip Drop. So I think we're going to play this clip. It's about 3 minutes. I might pause it as it goes, but I also brought up Jeff H's channel after this because I figured we'd play the clip and then we'd go right to the source and take a look for ourselves. So without further ado, if you haven't seen it, please visit Crime Circus Cult. I'll put it Robert, you sent me. We will be talking about that shortly. I'll type you back. Let me just quickly make a banner for Crime Circus before I play this, because I don't want to play his work without putting his credit there. So he has two channels. If you don't know who Drip Drop is, there's Crime Circus and Crime Circus Cult. This is the Crime Circus channel. Okay. So if you haven't seen this today, please go check out the rest of his video too. It's really interesting. We love Drip Drop.
In any of these body camera clips or anything that I'm saying, because you know this is all someone else's fantasy. It's certainly not mine. I'm not going to be held responsible for anything said on this show. This isn't my doing. I'm just a passenger here. You, the viewers, are driving this show. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. Moving right along. Now, back to the creatures. Coincidence or not, what are the odds that the same exact police officers that were just in front of the King Road residence dealing with the Banfield boys would go to their next with a man that was seen on the Grub truck surveillance footage? Don't believe me? Police officers that were just in front of the King Road residence dealing with the Banfield boys would go to their next call and end up dealing with a man that was seen on the Grub truck surveillance footage. Don't believe me? Check it out.
I wasn't trying to do anything.
What happened to your head?
This? Oh, dude, weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, I swear to God, that was 3 weeks ago. Swear on my life.
You're good. Date of birth.
Hey, Dios. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I think I would like the carbonara.
Okay. Yeah, they both. I feel bad.
This is the same guy. You can see him right here. The officer makes note of injuries to his face. And he claims he's had those injuries for a while. Those injuries look really fresh to me. And it doesn't look like he had those injuries at the Grub truck. Keep in mind and take note of the time on the body camera. We're not dealing with the Zulu anymore. No. This is just after they had originally told us that the crime took place. This is after we heard the multiple screams on the Banfield body camera video. This is immediately after we saw those 4, 5, or 6 shadowy figures running past the police officers. What you see here is 4 individuals running from the 1122 King Road crime scene area. This was caught on police body camera footage at approximately the initial time that they said the crime actually happened.
3 a.m.
So tell me, how do you feel knowing that this footage could change everything? This is the footage where they told us to look for clues and they didn't think we'd find any, but we did.
Oh my God.
And you can see why I live in fear. The things we're uncovering and discovering together on this show right here are serious. Really, really serious. I'm in way too deep into this investigation. I'm deep, 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 deep down the rabbit hole. And I can't stop, won't stop. The victims, Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana, need us. I look around and I just don't see the proper investigation that I want to see in this case. Steve G has had questions from day one. I have never seen a victim's family so disrespected by the police department.
We're the same family that found the original timeline.
We're not fighting, Caitlin.
It looks like it froze up. Or did you pause it? You muted.
We're the same. We're the same.
You're muted, Kiki. Kiki, you're muted.
I said, Robert, could I have your immediate reaction? Sorry, guys.
Well, for one thing, I like Drip Drop. And it's kind of amazing how, we're finding out new clues every day on this case. I've for a long time, I've always wondered about those 4 people running away from the house.
It's just, on a night where something so horrific happened, you just want to know every person who possibly was around the crime scene in or around that hour. You would hope they've been found and contacted just to know if they saw or heard anything, And there were a couple of really interesting comments. And so what I'm going to do while we're reading the comments is I pulled up Jeff H's channel, and I'll put a banner up in a second so you guys can go check out the footage for yourself. But Jeff H has the entire Grub truck footage on his channel. And I started it right when this gentleman comes into the picture. So I'm just going to play it. Well,
Yep, slide down more. Excellent. That's a good spot.
and I figured while I'm doing that, I pull up a couple of these comments. I did star a couple so far. The first one was from Wayne. It says, hard to tell if the bump on his head was there during the Grub truck. So when he starts coming up, I thought I had paused it right on there. Let's take another look at his head. Oh, Hayden Billups. Shouldn't say his name. Oh, and then I liked this comment too from Vivian. Considering that his apartment complex is clear across town from King Road and the cops were interviewing him at approximately 3:30 and he already had that bruise, there's no way that he was involved. Or let's even just say it. Let me take Crime Circus down. Hold on. There, at the very least, we know that bruise had nothing to do with the crimes. That is, unless, as some people say, the timeline is off. And then there was another one. David says, stop with the foolishness. The person who did this crime is in jail. Drip drop is a nut. I didn't see that last part. Drip drop is trolling everyone. You know, I have to say, I only catch his IDAHO4 cases. Occasionally, I'll watch one of his interrogation videos, but
Jeff is in the chat.
Oh, in the chat. I thought you were going to say in the. So you guys, this is Jeff H. Let me put a banner up. Jeff, there it is. So this is Jeff H's footage. If you guys want to go check it out, Jeff is in the chat. Jeff, you're welcome to jump up here too if you'd like. I mean, I'm pretty much at the end of my presentation, so it's like open chat if you guys want to talk about things. I had a little more on the DNA, but I mean, I think I've had enough tonight. My brain hurts. Lana brings up this guy too. I didn't know that. Thank you, Julianne. We'll have to check out Lana's work on it. Yes, Jeff, you heard your name.
I think everyone's brain hurts when they try to figure out DNA.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? All right, police already contacted the people on the Banfield footage. They only released the body cow.
I think it's supposed to be Cam.
I think so too. Dinky. I can't believe you asked me. Oh, oops, sorry. So, all right. Well, you guys have so many great comments. I don't know. Let me just take this down. So, I mean, that's pretty much all I had planned for tonight. I just wanted to, start the conversation, start talking to you about some of the things that I thought were relevant or some of the things that I interpreted as updates, which is really, there's going to be two things. We're going to hear more about a trial date. We're going to hear more about the change of venue. And we're certainly going to hear a little bit more about the IGG information. Of course, they could always seal what's going to be in the hearing, but that's what we should be expecting at the end of the month coming up and in the beginning of the next month. So with that said, my name is Swamp Rose. Please subscribe. We have Robert from True Crime Cult. And if you could please visit his channel, give him a subscribe, a like, and a comment. And anything you want to tell the people before we log off, Robert?
Well, do you like my new avatar?
I love it. Now, was that designed by Nina?
No, it was by Micah.
It's wonderful, Micah. Thank you.
But I'm going to be jumping off of here. Yeah, as soon as you're done with your live, I'm going to start recording that video, and then I'm going to drop it at 10:30 p.m. my time. And there's going to be a lot of interesting talking points coming out of this video in the next few days on your channel and my channel.
Okay. I can't wait to see it, and you'll have to invite me onto your channel for a live stream in the near future, Robert.
I will. Yeah, because I got a lot of very interesting documents to go over on on a live, or I could just break it up into videos. I got
Or do both.
yeah, I got Brent Kopaka's background report too, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing a video on that.
Why not? Why wouldn't you do a video on it?
Well, it's kind of hard to do it on him since he's no longer with us.
Yeah, I know it's tough to make those decisions. But I'm just glad you popped up here and joined me tonight.
Yeah, I will be revealing the potential informant's name tonight in the video too.
That's fascinating, Robert. I can't wait to see it. We'll all be tuning in about 30 minutes. 30, 40 minutes.
Yep, it's gonna be roughly about a 20 to 30 minute video, so it's gonna be full of nice little nuggets to talk about.
We'll all be checking it out.
All right, you have a good night, Kiki. I'm gonna go record the video.
Thanks for stopping by, Robert.
You're welcome.
And so that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. If you could please hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. It puts the live stream in front of another person in the replay when you hit that like button, so I'd appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I release quite a bit of content every week. I don't not only do live streams, I also release videos, and I, more than anything, release shorts. And so please go ahead and subscribe, and I guarantee I'll do my best to entertain you. And with that, I think since I didn't really do a great intro, I'm going to end with an outro. I really want to thank my mods in the chat. And there's 5 different people. I have a list of people who I'm making into mods. So if you didn't see a wrench next to your name tonight, it's just because I was so into planning. I didn't have a chance to add everybody. But other than that, I'm going to play an outro, and thank you for showing up. Hey, obviously I'm still here. You know what I was thinking as I was doing that outro is that song is like famous on YouTube. That song I keep playing, and it's not just like it's YouTube free music, so it's consumable, royalty free. But so like a lot of really good videographers have made videos of it. So I'm gonna play the outro one more time, but I'm gonna show you one of the music videos to Kodo-san's. So it's a Japanese string instrument, by the way. Let me pull it up. We'll try this outro again. And I just got an alert, by the way, from Turtle Boy. I just got an alert from Turtle Boy on Twitter. The Celtics win the banner. So I just want to say, y'all, I represent the city of champions, #1. All right. I heard my husband awake downstairs, and now I know why. This is the best part. Okay, so now that's really it for tonight. So 4 minutes left in the Celtics game. Well, I'm just telling you, I got an alert from Turtle Boy, and the only reason I'm following Turtle Boy is to get like a good like other side of the Kieran Reed trial, and get an alert saying the Celtics won. He looks like he's at the Garden right now. I can't tell. Anyway, that must be an old comment. No, that was from 1 minute ago. And I'm glad you thought it was a cool video. Jeff, you should make one to Kodo-san's. It's got such an interesting sound. Like it was hard for me to, I mean, I guess I thought it was, anyway. Yeah, it's got an interesting sound. All right, now I'm really signing off for the night, you guys. All right, I'm going to go to bed. Love you guys. Thanks for showing up.